So this is Rita and Scott. We are here to do, I think we're going to do a channeling conversation about our greatest gifts and how we become or became or will become grandiose. Shedding all fear and all question about those gifts. That's me talking, but yeah.
Right away, what's coming through is humble, grand. Well, sort of instead of grandiose, it's actually humble. By accepting the fullness of our gifts. Not in the way that humble is normally seen. Humble is very grandiose. There it is.
I'm getting the sense of like just it's all like very letting go, allowing that soul to just be present. The body is just a channel. Your voice and your words are just a channel. You're humbly setting aside your earth self. Although your earth self is important.
Earth ideas.
Earth ideas.
Human ideas.
I'm getting a strong message from my guides that says I really do need to actually prepare my body a little more, and it's time to get into that, to prepare my body so that my mind and my spirit that inhabits it understands the humble strength that I have, that I should prepare my body so I can fully feel that, either by fasting or for choosing the right foods, exercise.
For sure. The physical body can block a lot of spiritual things. Or we can use the physical body to block. Even just the intention, it almost doesn't matter what you do, but the intention behind it will lead to physical changes and just keep the communication more open, the more the connection to your soul and the soul's connection to God more open. Because you desire that. Whereas some actions you take physically shows the intention to not have that communication coming through because it's uncomfortable or you're afraid of it or it's not what you're supposed to believe. And so you block yourself before the world can.
Right. I'm getting this feeling, this image of my back of the wings kind of coming out. This is like something that's really interesting. They're energetic. They're not like there's a spiritual aspect of wings stretching out. But yet it's a humble feeling. It's almost as if like, okay, it's just, well, this is just what it is. This is only, it's like they're in a relaxed state if they're out a little more.
Yes, your spirit doesn't actually need wings. It can do many things that wings might do on earth, but in the spirit realm, they're not necessary. So to feel that, we sense that it's an indication that you're feeling more of the spirit realm as you are in your physical body.
It brings me to a question, if you can answer.
Mm-hmm.
If wings aren't necessary in the spirit world, then why do I actually feel them and sense them?
It's more that, like I think we just said it, that it is a feeling for you to recognize that you are more open to being in the spirit while you're in the physical body. Let me see if I can translate that better. The feeling. Okay, now I'm getting, your guides are touching you there so that you know you are more connected spiritually and to your soul while you're in your physical body.
And so right now my understanding is that it feels like wings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's your interpretation.
My interpretation right now.
And their intention for you to interpret it that way so that you can feel your spirit more clearly, or feel that you have made the connection more strong and that it's there.
So these metaphorical wings are they are another connection that's being made.
Mm-hmm.
By my guides, by me.
Mm-hmm.
Another little opening.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You could have even felt it as if someone had their arm around you. It's just how they chose to reach you in a way that, because they know you so well, that you would respond to.
So let's go back to our humble.
Mm-hmm.
I was not so humble with the wings thing analogy.
Well, yes, no, we want to say that yes, you are, because humble is truth. Humble is feeling everything. So you are able to feel the intention of your guides, and that is a humble state. If you took it then to say, I am the embodiment of Archangel Michael, or something like that, because I can feel my energetic wing, then yeah, it would have gone to arrogance.
Okay. I don't necessarily feel like him. No, I don't feel like an archangel. No.
It was just a language that your guides knew you would hear.
Okay. I'm kind of sensing that I'm growing new. As far as our gifts, I feel like I'm growing new. Well, wings is a metaphor.
Mm-hmm.
New connections into the spirit realm. New connections into that whole fabric. There's definitely more beings that have come to me.
When we see more spirits gathering now for this conversation.
There's a smiling female blue-skinned being that I see kind of frequently. She's not threatening. She's just there, as if she's supposed to be in photographs with me, just smiling beside me. She doesn't have hair, but she's not threatening. She's just standing to the side.
Yes, she feels like a tourist.
Yes. That's a good word.
That she's not really helpful. She's not hindering. She's kind of amused. Maybe not amused. Just curious.
She seems a little extraterrestrial. So tourist to me sounds very accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Like a fan. It's kind of interesting.
Yes, we feel that she is not we don't want to say important, but she's a little bit incidental to the things that you really can implement and do and explore in your gifts.
She's curious. She's just curious.
Mm-hmm.
And just hanging out because she's curious.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to be in the picture. Interesting.
Yes, she has some similar qualities, but she maybe hasn't explored herself, her own gifts as much, and she's hanging around a little bit because she feels the energy around the gifts that are going to be explored and discovered for you and Rita.
So this might be something new for Rita and I. What happens when we get fans? What happens when we get... This is a shift, I think. What if we get fans? That's going to be strange. We have to kind of discern through this humbleness.
Yes, she's a good lesson in this. That she's curious. She's not really interested in her own gifts. She's more interested in yours and Rita's right now. She wants to see it. She feels the energy. So she wants to be there and kind of say that she was there from the start, like she was an instrumental part of it. And many people do that. They attach to the energy so that they don't have to do it for themselves.
I imagine Rita and I are in those spirit realms. So it's probably a good lesson in, I don't want to say celebrity, but as we get stronger, as we get more connected, as we get more humbly in tune with our gifts, it's maybe something we have to realize that others might lift us to a false grandiosity?
We wanted to direct you, as you were saying that, to let others lift you.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. Let that happen. That is humble. That is loving to yourself and to them.
Okay.
And it may be a grandiose stance as you are being lifted to know that that is right, that it is beneficial for everyone, for the world, for the spirit world.
So even in their possible shallowness or just spectatorness, they may have a role in that lifting.
Yes.
Interesting.
It may draw them into the momentum of it and to where they are willing to feel their own feelings and become more humble in themselves and be more self-contained and allow themselves to be lifted by others.
That is interesting because she is the first real outsider that I have kind of sensed. She is one of the first of them. A lot of times I realize a lot of these people are helping spirits or guides or other souls. She is the first, like you say, traveler, spectator, tourist. Something new to experience.
Yes, and she brings a certain energy with her, which can also be attracting some of these other spirits that have gathered. And Rita is saying, "Oh, great! We're a tourist attraction." So, as you know, tourist attraction, places that are tourist attractions sometimes get overrun and they need to be protected. They need boundaries around them. They need keepers and guides to direct the curious ones through them so as not to ruin the whole thing. So they don't trample relics.
Create a spectacle.
Yeah. Or undo the sacredness of the place.
Right. Claim it for their own and as a crusade of crusade is extreme, but that could happen.
Yes, they like to come and take pictures of themselves at the place to say that they have been there, but they don't actually come and feel what it's really all about. So there may be many of those.
Okay. So we may already be becoming larger, humbly more grandiose because tourists are starting to stream in.
Mm-hmm.
We may already be there or starting that.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I understand.
Yes.
Hmm.
And so
I
you
have this very interesting image of tourists tuning into a version of me as this cosmic fixer, kind of like the Ray Donovan character, and they're amused, and so they're a little bit transfixed, and so they want to come there and see me, the actor me, rather than the. It's so interesting. It just flashed in my face. It's like it's the same kind of thing. Like they want to see this. They're attracted to this, what they think is grandiose cosplay of
a performance.
a performance, and they just want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
So then the challenge is to stay really connected to the genuine purpose, the humility. And maybe you want to understand your true gifts more thoroughly in order to do that.
I definitely am probably making a little bit of a splash because I'm much more bolder in that spirit realm than the waking world, although I've got to shed that on this side, just personally, internally, humbly, not to create that in this waking world. But in that realm, I understand fear, but I'm not paralyzed by it.
Mm-hmm.
And I do take action. And then I also receive healing. I have those that come to me. So it isn't all just me.
Yes, for sure.
So those are, but I am being supported.
Mm-hmm.
Because the work I do is important, not as a self-importance thing.
Yeah, of course, we understand. It is important. What else is there other than helping souls be directed towards greater love and truth? Everyone in the spirit world has their mission for that purpose. Whether they engage it or not is another story. Every human on earth has that purpose. It's just become very clouded and thwarted, and the attempts to remove it are great.
Oh, I think you were very exact when you said is great. That hit. Like there is a singular force behind. I'm tingling. But there is a mesh of this singular force that wants to be great, to thwart love and truth and God's laws.
Yes, it originates in many places, but it all is coming together as a coordinated effort. You're
Yes.
right. Mm-hmm. But very easily disintegrated, fragmented by really knowing your gifts and having the intention towards love and truth. By wanting to connect with God and feeling divine love. It's very simple to disintegrate that force by focusing towards God's love. With genuine and sincere intention. And it's really just a byproduct that force gets disintegrated. It doesn't have to be the reason for, in fact, there's no need to even consider it in your desire to connect with God.
Oh.
The connection is the important part.
I have lots of questions that I think I may wait for a different time, but I want to. I know this may be difficult. I want to ask about Rita and her grandiose, humble, strong gifts, and or maybe like I can also bring in my guides for this too.
Mm-hmm. We can all work together.
Yes, and then how's that manifest? Because I know that Rita and I are very different, but yet very connected.
Rita is more of a quiet force. Paradoxically out front and behind the scenes at the same time.
Yes, she's a gatherer of knowledge. She gathers the knowledge at first. She seems to be at the forefront of gathering that truth.
We want to say a whole bunch of contradictory words, big, small.
Ooh.
Quiet, loud. Strong, gentle.
Divine, ordinary.
That's good. Yes. And we're showing her an image of walking a tightrope, but it's not like precarious. It's just this fine line. That if she can really embrace all of those paradoxes, she can walk that tightrope without any problem, without any teetering or wobbliness at all.
And I'm seeing an image of Rita walking the tightrope as it expands so that others can easily walk after her.
Yes, very good. And she stays just ahead while it's thin before it expands. And it gives others courage to take the step maybe before it expands, but when they do, it does expand.
Still the way shower. Through the needle. Through the eye. Of course, drawing soul circles through the eyes. Through.
And we are showing her not really looking back to see who's following.
No.
To just keep going. Or to see if it is expanding. And we mean to not think about the results, but to just keep going.
I do see angels or beings holding her cloak behind to kind of support. Small, helpful beings just in support. Attracted to her. Lifting a cloak behind her.
And we want to ask, what is the cloak even for?
I think it's illuminated to show others where she has been. Sounds like, but yet it's not support. Yeah, it's paradoxical. It's as if it's a royal garment.
Where there is no royalty.
Where there's no royalty.
It's a difficult position. We want to emphasize that or acknowledge it. Or it can look difficult. It doesn't have to be difficult. To be all of those things. And to venture out where there's doesn't appear to be solid ground beneath you. But to be all of those things feels like a lot to embody or act through.
I don't sense a lot of tourists behind Rita. Not in front of Rita. They do see her.
This would be like everyone along the rim of the Grand Canyon venturing out across the tightrope across the canyon. And the tourists, the ones who want to get in the car and go to the next stop or hike down into the canyon, those aren't the ones who are going to really benefit from Rita. They're not going to do the impossible.
No. It's an alchemy of taking those steps. There's an alchemization that happens. I'm not sure about it, but maybe
Yes.
that's the wrong word.
You don't really have to understand it. You just have to be willing to take the step, and then it happens.
Mm-hmm. And yet the universe is expanding toward her, yet expanding behind her. It's on the. Is it Rita taking the step, or is it the universe underneath also taking the step? So there's a paradox again.
What did you say?
Well, it's I see across this tightrope there is an energy almost just pulling that tightrope toward you, but yet so there's a shrinking coming towards you, an expansion going behind you. Like there's a fullness of the universe wanting to rush toward you, and then
Rita's noticing repeatedly how she's not looking around. She's not looking behind or to the side. She's just staying forward, and everyone can see her back.
yes.
And we're showing her hair being like that cloak, sort of electrified.
Now I see the little beings needing to actually accommodate that with a cloak so that they could actually sense her. Unnecessary to Rita, but necessary for them.
Mm-hmm. And that's an important piece, what you just said, is we wanted to emphasize for her to not create the things that others need. But to just keep moving forward and let them feel what she's creating in whatever way they need to, or experience it in whatever way they need to.
Just the conduit for an expansion of a personal universe. Not for Rita, but just that action of taking a step. Discovery.
Yes, but what you've just said is too big for most people to understand. It has to be shrunken down into something tangible. That first step can be very physical in this world, practical.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what happens, is this grand scale universe creating action. And you're experiencing that yourself.
Yes.
Now.
For Rita, there is no edge. There's no edge of the universe.
Well, there is no edge for anyone. There's no edge of the universe.
No. For many of us, we can't comprehend the vastness, so we probably put our little border around it and then think that it's going to expand for us.
Mm-hmm. And that phrase right there, expand for us, means something very different to most people than it does to you and Rita. It's more of an entitled feeling for most people.
Yeah. Expanding for us rather than our knowing of truth becomes more complete.
Yes, expanding for us to know more.
Right.
And some of those little beings are nigglers. Sometimes they will be in their fear of having to hold the cloak because of where she's going, will maybe poke at her to try to get her to turn around.
They're like mice.
Mm-hmm.
Yet they're very just, their role is almost just ceremonial.
Yes. And part of their role is to try to get her to turn around so that she can choose not to.
She's not turning around. It's interesting how, like, I tend to be up against the darkness in very different ways than Rita. I combat and engage with the darkness in those types of ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yet Rita is walking in the void of darkness.
Also,
And even when I say void of darkness, that's a paradox. Darkness and a void, but yet, yeah.
which also combats the darkness.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. One of the reasons you two were attracted to come together to do all of this, because you cover the bases. Both purposes and ways of going about them being essential. Overlapping in some ways, but complementing.
My mind just wants to stay there and sort of witness. It's like there's a truth in the void in that dark area that Rita travels through, that what we call dark energy, dark forces, tormenting beings, they can't walk there.
Mm-hmm.
Not at all. There's no energy for them. There's no...
For their intentions.
There's nothing to feed their intention there.
Mm-hmm. There's plenty of energy for them if they want to engage a more loving intention. Rita has rules, and you have rules.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Very cool. I have to really... I can't speak about it. It seems like it's really...
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And we could leave it there and let you experience that place more.
Yes.
Until it becomes familiar.
Hmm. Thank you.
We're very happy to have this conversation. I'm happy to see you both opening up even further and connecting even more.
Hmm. How do you feel about that, Rita? On the tightrope in the void.
Yeah. Yeah, it's strange. It's freeing, yet I just keep going. It's like freeing, but there's more to be done or more places to go. It's like it doesn't, what I'm seeing is it just doesn't end. And so from the earthly perspective, that's daunting, but in the spirit world, that's just how it is.
Hmm. That's a strength that I think is so unique, and an ability or a gift that is so unique, that can... to walk in the tightrope of a void and have the universe expand behind you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. No kidding.
Whoa.
There's a word. Yeah. And what is it going to feel like to know that that's happening? While being here.
Yeah.
But that piece about not creating what others need was important.
Right. Other than just the... well, we all need the expanse of love and truth.
Mm-hmm. Not what I
What others think they need.
yes. Yeah. I felt that was part of it. What others are saying they need.
Right. What others controlled by emotional law and emotional, grounded in this waking world need.
Yeah. And to not turn around and go, no, just put your foot right there. It'll
Right. So
yeah.
to not turn around and teach them.
Mm-hmm.
Those little mice on your coattails, though. That was an interesting image, but I could see that happening. They were afraid. Like, I think they also needed that cloak to like shield them, but also to be connected to you, and then to give themselves a sense of a little bit of responsibility, but yet a ceremonial responsibility and honoring, yet not necessary.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't, it felt like it made no difference to me.
Right. Right. Like they would like light up like fireflies just to show that Rita is walking. We're holding the cloak. Like they wanted to honor you so much, even though they were afraid themselves and they needed that cloak there because they were not going to look where you were looking.
Yeah. And I felt sometimes they were just like, can't you just stop for a minute?
Yeah.
And that's when they might be poking at me.
Or this is a little too much right now.
Mm-hmm.
Now you've ripped apart the universe here, and I see this now. Oh my goodness. But yeah, it wasn't you ripping apart the universe. There was like an energy that was already there at that point, and you just happened to step on that point to allow it. So that's what I saw too.
Mm-hmm. And the message is for us to realize how much the greater results of what we do.
Wow.
Realize I don't know, there's a word I'm not getting. The consequences, the results, the magnitude of really what goes on that we're not seeing yet.
Right. Magnitude is a really good word.
Mm-hmm.
The magnetic resonance of everything too.
Mm-hmm.
The active resonance. But yeah, wow.
Oh, that was almost an hour. Wow.
I know. This makes my feeling like wings and pulling demon hair seem very insignificant.
But no. Very needed. Do you know how much
Yes. Whoa.
grateful I am that there's you doing that work? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's true. We have to kind of.
Because could I be walking in that expanse if you weren't doing your part?
Probably
I don't think
not.
so.
No, you'd be chased. Someone would chase you.
Yeah.
Well, they would run themselves into love and truth. But yet it seems like you do have a job to do that's very important, and if you weren't there doing that, wow, you've like just maybe that's another purpose. It's that Cosmic Rita has a job to do. And so that's why I need to do what I do to make sure that she has her job to do. Wow.
And that feels like an example of I don't create what you do, but it feeds the whole purpose.
Right.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Fit in painting bids. You know, where does that all fit in? Or does it?
Well, does it? I don't know.
The sort of thing where, well, I got to just get out of that and just go on my tightrope. You know, that's the maybe the old way of doing spirituality. I don't know. Take the
No,
leap.
because you're just not looking back.
Mm-hmm.
You're courageous enough to not look back to see where you've been, to reflect, and then to define yourself again. I think a lot of other spiritual folks, they want to go through a vision quest and go down that tightrope so they can be done with that and come back and reflect on it themselves and say, oh my gosh, thank goodness I went on that trip and now I have more of a definition of myself.
Mm.
You're not having that.
I don't have an end to my trip.
No.
Yeah.
And yeah, it blows apart the whole vision quest thing. Just blows it apart. It's like we have this to satisfy an earthly ego when ideally shouldn't we be ever traveling souls?
Yeah.
Discovering and unfolding our path as we step every day. There's no vision quest inside the vision quest. You're just doing it.
Yeah. Right. Right. I just saw my crew as the little beings holding my cloak.
Yeah, those mice have to have pretty strong faith.
Yeah.
You're gonna walk them somewhere.
I know. I just had those poor guys. They have no idea what they've gotten themselves into.
Yeah. I just got the message. You two are the mean folks on the spiritual block, shattering their vision quests. And what do you mean I don't get to look back? What do you mean?
There goes psychology.
What do you mean I have to be humble?
Hmm.
Oh, you mean I'm not really a healer? It's really the spirit realm?
Spirit's working.
And I really don't have total control of that? Or any control of that, mind you?
Right. Yeah, we're the mean kids, but we also aren't really bothering them.
No, we're not bothering them.
That's good. We aren't even meant to show them or teach them.
No. Yeah. They're lucky that we don't have a lot of followers. Well, we might. I guess they'll have to lift us up.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny because yesterday, or the day before, Joseph said, "Mom, can you just stop?" Because I was just doing stuff, and that's where my energy was. So I just kept going. I was just watering the plants or something like that. Mom, just stop. Because he was sitting on the couch.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's interesting how those things can just sort of like be a mirror of that. So.
My head feels really like I feel some pressure since we started. hothead.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I did not expect that to go there.
Mm-mm.
Wow.
But when you switched to wanting to ask about me, I was already feeling them wanting you to ask about me.
Yeah.
So
I
you
had
picked
some
up on
nudges. I was like
that.
pushing me.
Yep.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got questions next time. Next time. So, and now my questions are like, oh, that's so. I don't have to ask that. I'll just figure it out.
Oh,
Interesting. Yes.
very.
The landscape of that realm is so fascinating now to me.
Mm-hmm.
Just how it unfolds and how that seems to work. Well, it's no wonder you create soul circles. Look at you're traveling through time and space, and that's what's opening up behind you when you get into that space to draw them.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels very childlike too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're actually seeing galaxies before anyone sees galaxies. So here's what
That's
they look like. Here's theirs. Here's yours.
That's wild. That's yeah. It's too much to take in.
Yeah.
Except that I've been doing it,
Yep. Yep.
and that's that place where I go, how can that person just say this stuff and like it's just fact?
Welcome. How can somebody just say that they grab demons' hair and pull it and they get up against them and then they extract psychic information from them to do better things?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome to my realm.
Yeah.
How can I just say that? And just like, that's what happens.
But like it's so innate that even what you just said a little bit ago, I've lost those words. It's like it's not something to describe. It's like if I'm going to go up to you, hi, I'm Rita. By the way, my heart pumps blood through my brain and through all of my cells, and I'm going to explain this to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we just skip that part.
That's true. Yeah. Well, everybody else kind of knows that that's what our bodies do. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
hi.
And so,
I'm Scott, and my pulse is 80 beats per minute, and I respirate at this rate, and I sleep for 8 hours at a time, and I eat
yeah.
a lot of things.
Yeah, it just doesn't compute in a way for me to explain what these are. It's like,
Right.
don't you get it?
Yeah. I imagine that would be a fun little exercise. Just like, what do spirits talk about when they get in their bodies for the first time? They're like, "Are you kidding me? What is this thing?
Billions of nerves. What are you
Nerves
talking?
and hunger? What is that? I'm gonna die." Yeah, yeah. No wonder we come out screaming
Yeah.
and crying and feed me and oh my gosh, what the heck is going on?
Mhm.
We're an emotional mess when we're born.
Yeah.
No wonder. So there's an explanation. It's not this Erickson whatever scale of
Mm.
needs. It's we're beings that were limitless. Now we're in this crazy tiny body thing that
You have to figure it out.
you have to figure out, and it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
Not at all. Nothing like we've ever known.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of funny.
It is.
Oh, this was a good one.
Yeah. Wow. Talk about universes expanding.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can shake somebody's hand. Hi, I'm Scott. I travel the dream universe, containing demons so that my friend Rita can walk through the void and create the universe as it expands underneath her feet.
There it is.
So take it or leave it. That's going to get me lots of dates.
Yeah.
So,
Right. By the way, I don't look back, so.
yeah, she doesn't look back, and so.
Up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah, and I've been known to, pull a demon hair and grab some by the scrotum and throw them in the muck, and, there's that.
Yeah. How about coffee?
Yeah, let's do that. Tell me about you. Yeah. Once I find someone who's going to be around that realm, that's going to be, okay.
Wow.
That'll be something.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. They don't run away.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, do something more than say, that's fascinating. And that's all,
Yeah. What? That is really good dating advice for me. It's just like, don't look back.
Don't look back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If they're there, they're there. If they're not, they're not. I got places to go.
They'll just be holding on to your cloak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wanting it to heal them, or just acting like they're revering you, or just to use that energy to see what expands behind you.
Or they're pouting on the one side of the Grand Canyon, waiting for me to come back and get them, and I just don't.
Yeah. One of these days she'll turn around and run to me.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah. That's something that they need. You're not there for that purpose. So.
Yeah. Thank goodness. Oof.
Oh. Yeah, I felt relief when I said that too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay. I'm going to end the broadcast here, and then we'll... Oh, I can't wait to watch this one.